UnderRated Podcast Episode 50 Titled. You guys are a little weird. Yeah. Now, meet Honeycomb Brazy. Honeycomb Brazy, a rapper out of Mobile, Alabama. And unfortunately this week, he lost his grandparents to a fire. Now, the weird part of this story is the fact that he lost his grandparents to a fire that was allegedly started by his ops. Now, I don't know what kind of beef this young man is into, but whatever it is, it had to be critical. Now, he put out this statement on Twitter, and I was a little taken by it, like, you really care how your grandparents died? Like, I would have been broken down, crying, snot running out of my nose, trying to figure out who did this, and let's go get them right now. Now, I'm trying to change my life, but I don't think I could stop myself from retaliation on this situation. But to put out a Twitter statement saying, hey, stop saying that the ops set my grandparents' house on fire. They were shooting in the house and they blew up their oxygen tanks. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter. It don't matter. You gotta change your life because your grandparents died behind your beef. That is weird to me. That is weird. Now let's move on to the next story. Now this is actually a throwback. Shout out to the Trey King show. This happened in 2019, actually. Meet Ezekiel Hicks. Yes. Now, what this man did was crazy. I actually got the news video so you guys can hear it for yourself. But, question. Because everybody ran around say that we are oppressed and we are marginalized, right? But do y'all think we do some of the oppression ourselves? If you don't agree with me, I understand. But listen to this story and tell me if this sounds like oppression or ignorance or I need a father. Tell me.
New tonight, a man paying it forward by picking up the tab for strangers at this local Waffle House. Instead of a thank you, he got shot in the head.
Cops say one man was so angry he did not get his bill paid, he shot that Good Samaritan.
The news station's Lara Greenberg live in Gainesville tonight with the story. Lara.
Charles and Luann, deputies were actually right here a few doors down from the Waffle House when this all happened early yesterday morning. And today we're learning that crazy new detail that this all started over someone not getting a free meal.
How did it go so bad so fast?
This guy, Ezekiel Hicks, locked up tonight, charged with murdering a man who deputies say spent his last moments paying it forward. It happened early yesterday morning at this Waffle House in Gainesville. They say Hicks shot and killed Craig Brewer after they started fighting. But the real shock, what they were fighting about. According to this report, the victim was a do-gooder who was paying for some customers' meals and also passing out $20 bills. But one woman started arguing with him because he did not pay for her meal.
It really does make you wonder.
Then Hicks, who was with that woman, stepped in, fighting with the guy until deputies say he went outside, got a gun, and shot and killed him, firing several shots to his head. When deputies arrived, they say Hicks admitted to the shooting.
This is an individual who has a family, and how this went from something that could have been good to something so tragic so fast, we simply have to find that out.
And deputies tell me part of the reason that they were already on their way over here is because Waffle House employees had already called them for having so many people here early yesterday morning that they were trying to clear out of the establishment. And Hicks is locked up in Alachua County tonight. Live in Gainesville, Lara Greenberg, Fox 35 News.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Why you didn't just pay for the meal? Why you let your girl overtalk you in this conversation? Why are you getting into it with another man about his money? Why are you letting your girl get into it with another man about his money? You're sitting right there, pay for the meal. Nope. The nigga came out of you. Yep. So you had to prove something. And you went home, you came back, and you shot a man in his head over the fact that he wouldn't pay for your woman's Waffle House meal. That's the type of woman that you want to be with. You need a father. Well, you needed a father. Now you're going to have plenty of fathers in prison. And you're going to be cooking a lot of meals involuntarily in prison. And guess what? She's probably already moved on to the next. That was 2 years ago. So now you're sitting in prison over something that could have been handled as simply as you paying for the meal, and walking out of the establishment without doing something stupid. But hey, lean to your own understanding. Don't listen to logic. Go with niggadom. That's cool. On to the next story. Now, black people, do y'all have access to the internet? Do you? Most of you do, right? Do most of you guys carry around an ID? I believe you do. However, these people believe that you don't. And these people believe that you don't even know how to vote. And guess what? They're part of the liberal society. So liberal equals Democrat. And y'all so loyal to that party. I don't know why. These people don't even think that you're smart enough to obtain an ID or use the internet properly or obtain access to the internet. So tell me, do you still? Yes, you do. I ain't even gonna ask you that, but I'll let them explain it to you. I can't explain it the way they do.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, an ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy camera?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's my thought process on it.
I just think that's ignorant.
Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm
very
hearing a lot.
ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you know, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, like, but you're judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
Ma'am, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yep, that's what they said. That's what they feel like, sir. They feel like you don't have the ability to obtain none of these things. This lady said you can't even make your way around the internet. This guy said you don't have the ability to obtain the ID. This guy said you can't even get the internet. And she said most of y'all are felons and that's why y'all can't vote. Wow. Yes, you should be offended. You should be offended. You should be offended. And you should be offended. All you guys should be offended. But hey, I ain't judging. No one's on trial here. Like Pop Smoke said, welcome to the party. For real, welcome to the party. If you Democrat, this is what they thinking about y'all. Think about it. But hey, it doesn't matter. Enjoy yourselves. Welcome to the party. Honeycomb Brazy. You worried about the wrong things, and I think that is weird. Your grandparents died, man. This guy right here, you could have just paid for the meal. And these guys think you're too dumb to operate. Hey, check out my last Underrated Podcast, episode 49, and episode 48 is out as well. Also, check out my last Aunt G React. Pastor denies his child over chicken nuggets. This is the Underrated Podcast, episode 50. Comment and subscribe. Get in tune with me, man. I'm trying to push him out. Hey, they done struck me already with a strike, and we out.